is the right time to apply for your first programming job? And before we do that, what I want to do is I want to ask you guys if you've subscribed to us yet. If you haven't, please do. The subscribe button should be right around here. Oh, I missed it. Right there. Anyways, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And let's go ahead and jump right in. All right. So we're talking about when is the right time to apply for your first programming job. And I'm going to give you a little secret here. You're never going to be ready for it, okay? If you're a beginner and you're an entry-level developer, you're coming out of college, or you have not been in the industry before, you are not going to be ready for it. So begin applying before you think you're ready. That's my insider tip and secret for you. All right. So in general, with students that I've taught and others that I've mentored, I try to explain to them that being a software developer and getting into the industry and becoming a software engineer or web developer, whichever one you're going for, is going to be a difficult path to take, and it's going to be hard to get in. You cannot be a perfectionist early on, because you're going to get beat up and you're going to learn that you are not the best developer once you get your first job. So what I always tell everybody is be humble, but just apply. Okay? You don't have to lie in your resumes. You don't have to go out there and say you know every technology and every web stack and every quirk of a language. No, you don't. Just go ahead and explain what you've done. If you've worked on hobby projects, if you've worked on professional code, if you've developed a game, if you have a Git repository and a portfolio, put them in your resume. Sell yourself in that resume and put out your applications. Okay, you're going to learn from that process. First of all, you're going to get better at submitting applications. You're going to get experience from getting denied. You're going to learn what an auto denial is. You're going to learn about how interviews work. Generally, when you're starting out, you don't know how software development interviews work. You don't know that the very first call really isn't an interview. Most of the time, companies call you, and it's a simple recruiter call to be just kind of cordial and get a feel for the job position. The recruiter will give you a call and be like, hey, this is recruiter from XYZ company, and I saw your resume. We think you may be a good fit. This is the role. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and what you've done? And are you interested in this role? Because if you are, we'll try to schedule you for an interview with an actual engineer or the hiring manager for the role. The end. That's generally how the interview process begins. Now, what you should understand is that first call maybe is a interview in itself, and normally they may be gauging your ability to be social and communicate well. So you do want to present yourself professionally, be confident, but you will learn from the process, okay? So let's jump right back into where I was going with this. You should begin applying before you think you're ready. Don't get caught up in being a perfectionist and having a amazing portfolio and perfect source code. Don't get caught up in that. Clean up the source code you have, submit it, and see what happens. All right? We all are bad entry-level developers. We all learn as we develop in our careers, and that's kind of the way the process works. So don't be afraid of it, all right? Also, when you guys are applying to jobs, one of the things that hurts a lot of the entry-level developers out there that are applying and failing to land jobs is bad recruiters. I'm not saying that every recruiter is bad, all right? There are great ones out there, but there are also bad ones, and sometimes you encounter those really early on in your career, and those are the ones that end up, they end up telling you kind of negative feedback. They basically tell you you're not ready for the industry, you should try reapplying several years later, you're not basically deserving of the position. Don't listen to those people. They don't know what they're talking about. They're hacks, okay? Don't worry about them. Just keep on applying, forget about them, and just move on. Next, you're going to get denied a lot, all right? You are going to be denied more often than you'll ever believe. And if that happens to you, be ready right now. I'm warning you. It's a standard. I'll show you guys how often it can happen one of these days on a video, all right? Next, after you begin applying. Do not stop working on your skills. You should constantly be developing your skills, working on hobby projects, going to game jams, going to hackathons, and developing your skill set. And every week, you should look at what you've learned and adjust your resume or your portfolio based on it. Make sure you're pushing updates to your repository, your Git profile. Make sure your website has up-to-date information. If you don't have a website, put one together. I just put a post out about making sure you have a website out there because you can make them for free. I think Weebly still gives you a free website. And the next things are going to be, again, interview frequently. So early on, you are going to be denied. You're going to fail interviews. And the key to progressing on and being able to land a job in time is to keep on trying and interview frequently. If you've landed a job, you should continue working on your skill sets inside and outside of your job hours and requirements. If you want to continue growing and become a better developer, you need to be doing that. Also, you should be interviewing frequently too. When you are working full-time, it sounds kind of weird, but I always recommend that you interview frequently. You continue doing it at least once a month, once every other month, even if you're not planning to jump ship and leave the company you're currently with. It's going to keep your skills sharp. You're going to understand what the interview process is focused on at this time. So just in case you need to hedge your bets and move to another company, or your company needs to downsize and lay off some developers, you are ready. Again, just keep on trying, keep on applying. If you have any questions, post them down below. Subscribe right around here. That was a better point. I'm getting better at that. Have a good one, guys.